We started with nothing but raw woods. Then we cleared the future campsite, and it all started with a simple sketch. Now, the camp finally starts taking shape. Welcome back to OffGrid Outdoors. If you've been following along, you know this project started with nothing more than a piece of raw land and a vision to build an off-grid hunting camp from the ground up. In the last episode, we cleared the building site. Today, we're taking one of the biggest steps in the entire project, the concrete slab and the building shell. Before we get started, I do want to mention that I hired contractors for 3 parts of this project: the concrete slab, the building shell, and the spray foam insulation, which will be covered in this video. However, I was able to make a trip in between slab prep with a friend and self-perform the plumbing under the slab as well, as you can see here. It really came down to time, equipment, and local resources. Taking on those 3 jobs myself would have added months to the overall project, but hiring someone doesn't always mean everything goes perfectly. Along the way, there were a few mistakes and unexpected issues that I'll show you as we go through this video. Those experiences actually reinforced my decision that from this point forward, nearly everything else would be built by me. From the framing and utilities to the solar, water system, interior finish work, and everything that comes next. The concrete guys actually ended up finishing the concrete under a tarp with a heater because they had freezing temperatures that night, which did cause an issue later. This raised edge around the slab is there to help keep water from getting into the building by allowing the metal siding to overlap the concrete and the building framing. Unfortunately, it was formed with a 2x6 instead of a 2x4 because of a simple measuring mistake, which I had questioned at the early stage, and it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it ended up costing extra time, extra material, more concrete, and more money to fix. I also had to add the framing myself later while I was already up there doing the plumbing under the slab. It's just a good reminder that even when you hire work out, mistakes can still happen. The important thing is catching them early and finding the best way to move forward. Days after the concrete was poured, we noticed the top surface of the concrete was flaking off, which was determined that it was actually the water in the concrete that rose to the top surface had actually frozen that caused the flaking issue. So if I was to do it again, I probably would have had them wait until a warmer day to pour the concrete. This was the moment the project finally starts looking like a camp instead of just an idea, and how fast this vision was becoming a reality. Since I've been trying to save as much money as possible by doing the work myself, Facebook Marketplace has turned out to be a great resource. I found these exterior doors from a local supplier for about 1/3 of the price of the big box stores. They came with a jam material, but I still had to cut and assemble the door frames myself. It took a little extra work, but the savings made it well worth it. This was the first night spent in the camp, even though the roll-up doors weren't installed yet. That night there were actually tornado warnings in that area, and I'll tell you, it wasn't necessarily the most restful night's sleep, worrying about waking up like I was in the Wizard of Oz movie. But on the bright side, it sure did beat being stuck in a tent in that kind of weather. I also decided to install the windows and doors myself with the help of a few friends. Looking back, I'm really glad I did because it allowed me to use residential style doors and windows instead of standard options that typically come with these building kits. As we started installing everything, I noticed these buildings are really designed for shops and storage buildings, not necessarily for converting into a living space. Because of that, there were several areas of the framing that weren't perfectly square or plumb, which created a few extra challenges along the way. I also ended up having to make and install this custom flashing for the back wall where measurements didn't line up, and the metal siding wasn't able to run past the step in the concrete for possible water intrusion. I'll be covering the water collection in one of the next upcoming episodes. I don't have much footage of this part of the project with installing the doors and windows, but if anyone has any questions about how we framed and cut these window openings, leave them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to explain what we did and cover it in more detail. I know there are some mixed opinions on spray foam in metal buildings, but for this project, I felt the benefits outweighed the drawbacks. It seals every gap, creates an excellent moisture barrier, and the difference was immediate. This is a 44-degree temperature difference between the bare metal porch roof and the insulated roof. For me, that made my decision worth every penny. Thanks for watching episode 2 of this journey. Every step brings this camp a little closer to the vision I had from the beginning. Now that I finally had a roof over my head instead of a tent, it was time to start improving the property itself. In the next episode, I'll begin the first phase of cutting trails to make the property more accessible and start laying the groundwork for future food plots. If you're enjoying the series, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and follow along. And remember, build, hunt, improve, and repeat is the motto. I'll see you on the next one.